Welcome, my friends, to the Australian National University. This is exciting. This is orientation week. You're finally here. I think there's been some mad administrative error because I got in a lot of trouble about 2 years ago from the Chancellor for giving a speech at graduation that was apparently excessively subversive and not enough of inspiration. So I'm going to give you a lot of inspiration, so buckle up. Today, my friends, you join a new fraternity, a new fellowship and a new family. You become a student at one of the greatest educational institutions in the world and most certainly the finest in this country. Or, to put it slightly less eloquently, suck at Sydney Uni. Congratulations on your excellent choice. Over the next 3, 4, 5, or in some cases 10 years, don't laugh, that ended up being more than a few of my friends. You will learn more than you ever dreamed possible. You will have your capabilities stretched, your understanding challenged, and your ability to reason honed. Some of the world's best minds work and teach right here at the ANU. The ones who don't are regular and welcome visitors. To have the opportunity to learn from them is a tremendous one. Pay attention, respect, and be grateful to them, even when they're teaching Stat 1008, which will be, I promise you, the most mind-numbingly boring 6 months of your entire life. Just push through. It will get better. While I know it all seems very theoretical right now, this is the place where your adult character will be shaped. It is the place where you will learn the kind of person you will be and what the contribution you will make to this world is. That contribution may not turn out to be what you think and hope it will be today. Success is likely to look very different to you in a decade's time. Australia and the world feel like they are changing faster than ever before. With that comes opportunity, but also uncertainty. Your generation, which I think I technically still get to count as the same as my own, faces a future that looks very, very different to what our parents did. Most of you will work to support yourselves while at university. Some will work more than you will study. Most of you will graduate with a HECS debt. Few of you will own a house before you have children. Fewer still will have a single career for life, but instead skip and hop between industries and specialties for the 5 or so decades of your working lives. I want you to know that that is okay. Change is okay. There's nothing wrong with doing it differently to the people who came before you. There's nothing wrong with setting your own expectations rather than remaining captive to those of your parents. My parents expected me to pass Stat 1008. Here comes the inspiration. I want you to imagine like a big, snow-capped mountain and a little person climbing up, that kind of thing. And this is the inspirational quote beneath it. Mathematician and philosopher Alfred North Whitehead, who I'm well acquainted with, having Googled him yesterday, once said, "The art of progress is to preserve order and to preserve change amid order." As the newest members of the ANU family, this is your task as well. To first preserve what this wonderful university stands for, as Australia's intellectual gateway to the world and the vehicle by which we take our seat at the table of the civilised nations. And second, to be part of the ANU's continuing evolution to meet the demands of a changing Australia, a changing world and a changing people. Here, it is possible to meet and to become entrepreneurs who are building apps and businesses and cultural enterprise. Here, it is possible to unlock the promise of stem cells or the meaning of verse, to speed the creation of drug therapies or to struggle with the meaning of justice, to design a human organ on a chip or a public space that draws people back again and again. It is possible to improve human health a continent away or to create sustainable energy sources that will be vital to our future. All of this is possible if you are prepared to face up to and deal with the uncertainty ahead. The key is knowing what you are willing to let go and knowing what you are willing to fight for. That is what you're going to learn here at ANU, and it's far more important than remembering an equation or a particular piece of case law or that famous philosopher's quote, "Don't worry, I've forgotten his name already." Some of that important learning is going to happen in the classroom, but I'm so sorry to the many deans and academics who are sitting around here right now. The bulk of that learning will happen outside of the classroom. Over the course of your degree, you will learn just as much from each other as you will from your teachers. I want you to remember that university is about more than books. It is about more than timetables and exams and lecture theatres and libraries. It is about more than who gets the pass marks and who gets the high distinctions. It is about more than caps and gowns. It is about more than essays and oral presentations. It is, and this is a big one, about more than beer. University is about becoming a citizen of the world. So I want to quote another great philosopher, Coach Taylor, from Netflix drama Friday Night Lights. You are the Netflix generation, so you know who I'm talking about this time. Before every game, Coach Taylor and his players shout out, "Clear eyes, full hearts, you can't lose." Here at the ANU, your teachers will help you to strengthen your minds, but it will be your peers who will be the ones that keep your eyes clear and your hearts full. Halfway through my third year at ANU, I was running in the student elections. I wanted someone's job over there. It's all right, I got it. I handed a pamphlet to a really good-looking nerdy guy who was walking through Union Court. We got married 18 months ago. During my first week of university, I sat next to a blonde-haired cardigan-wearing girl who looked like she looked like a geeky cartoon character in Foundations of Australian Law. She was the bridesmaid at that wedding. In the few years I spent as a student on this campus, I met the man who became my husband, the woman who became my bridesmaid. I met 6 or 7 people who have become members of my staff. I met dozens more who I have relied on to help me land jobs, get promoted, and get over horrible boyfriends. I'd like to end on a somewhat sombre note, and I hope that is okay with you. It is fashionable at the beginning of a speech like this to bemoan how old you have gotten, to spend a few minutes reflecting wistfully on misspent youth and meditating on one's own mortality, I apologise. You notice that I didn't do that, and I also can't say the word mortality. This is why. My friends, in a shockingly short period of time, the people sitting around you will be running the country. That is not a joke. It is a fact. I am 30 years old, and since graduating from ANU less than 6 or 7 years ago, my peers are already saving lives as surgeons. They are building whole cities. They are publishing books. They are running the media. They are taking seats in Parliament. And some of them never got that chance. It has been 7 years since I graduated, and already there are people who I studied with, who I worked with, who I partied with, and who I loved, who are no longer with us. Looking out at this sea of irrepressibly eager and impossibly young faces, I can appreciate the sentiment of regret and longing to be younger again. It is sad to know that the great joys ahead of each of you are now behind some of us on stage, but I am not sad about the passing of time. I am so grateful for it. Getting older is a privilege, learning is a privilege, and it is not one that is extended to everybody. Today, mostly having not even entered your 20s, oh my God, you will feel invincible. I get that because I felt the same. Hold on to that feeling because it will not be there forever, and nor will you. I don't say this to depress you, but to implore you to give everything you've got to this experience. Do not hold back. The next stage of your lives is a glorious one. Soak up every second of it, every minute, every hour, every week, every semester, every year. You have the privilege of joining a community unlike any other on the planet. It's a place where people think and act, where they imagine and realise. It's what all of you do and what all of you can do that fills me with such optimism about the ANU and Australia's future. So join the clubs, go to the parties, attend the rallies, read the student newspaper, skip the odd lecture, sit on the lawns and just talk to your friends, drink the jelly shots very safely, Marnie, very safely. Dress up like an idiot, run for student elections, go on exchange, take the internships and stay for another game of pool. You can sleep later. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I can't wait to see what you all do next.